You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, and drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
And welcome to another episode of The Cocktail Lounge. I am your hostess with the mostest, Aggie, and with me as always is the affable and quaffable, ever suave, Brad Slater. How are you doing this evening, Brad?
You apply so much pressure to me when you
I know.
introduce me.
It's a nice introduction.
That's the problem. Now I have to
So I
be
have
nice
to do a
and
crappy one?
I have to live up to your vaunted descriptions now. I have to be suave and debonair and on point and everything else. But how has everything been on your side?
Well, I guess it has been okay. I had the great fortune of having my niece come by for a visit on her way through Texas, so that was kind of neat. I had expected her on Sunday to leave by Monday, but unfortunately she arrived Monday and left this morning. But I had fun. It was really nice visiting with her. She's pretty young. She's 20 and she's pretty independent. So she's been driving all over Texas, just visiting people that she knows. It's amazing to me. I mean,
your family seems to have a trouble with the calendar.
They do. I am now having to juggle 3 different guests this coming week, and I'm at a loss. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do.
You're going to tell them to go pound sand because
I did tell one of them that I was not going to be able to. I had plans, and apparently that kind of fell on deaf ears because I was informed that he is insisting, but I'm like, yeah, it's not happening. There's a hotel. I already have a friend of Twitter, Erath. He's coming up, and he had booked this time well in advance, So, and he's very low maintenance, so I don't. It's not a big problem. But the other person is pretty high maintenance, so it's just like, yeah, I can't do this. And yeah, it's my week. It is
exactly.
my week. It's my week. Your week is this one. This is your week.
Is it now?
Well, in a few days, it'll be your day.
Oh,
for those of you,
right.
those of you in chat, I'm just gonna say it. It's Brad's birthday, the 10th. So he's 5 whole days older than I am.
Yes. I'm the mature one.
He's the mature one. Okay, that was funny.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so that's on. Wait, today's the 7th, which is a Tuesday, so I guess it's Friday. You're gonna have a massive party this weekend, aren't you?
I don't know about massive, but we'll have our usual gang over. Family affair, and everybody comes over, and it gets loud as hell, and the kids go running around like banshees. It's just the usual stuff. So, but I'm actually at that stage in life that where people are like, "What do I get you? What do you want for your birthday?" I'm like, I don't know. I really don't need anything at this point.
Booze. Just get me booze.
I say that too, and people are like, "No, I'm not buying you liquor." It's like, you asked.
But that's what you want.
Yeah.
It's a consumable product. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's perfect for you. I don't understand. What's the problem? It's like me and my family. For the life of me, I don't understand. What is so difficult about giving me knives and ordnance? It doesn't take up room. I enjoy it. I use it. I don't understand. My parents are like, we're not giving you another knife. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Why not?
Yeah, it's like It's not like it's going to go to waste, and it's something I want.
No, it's not. It's not.
But
gonna
that's the
go
thing I
away.
love too. They ask, "What do you want for your birthday?" And you tell them, and they're like, "No, I'm not getting that." All right, cool. Screw off then.
Okay.
What do you want me to tell you? Like for the longest time, I've been told, "Oh, you're so hard to buy for." Like, really? Hockey, cigars, bourbon. It covers you right there. No. Fine, a Hawaiian shirt. You've got too many Hawaiian shirts already. Okay, we're not going out to dinner. This isn't about shooting down my suggestions. You asked me specifically what I wanted. I'm telling you. So I don't know what more to do. It's like last year we were at the bar and she's like, I still have no idea what to get you for Christmas. So, like I went on eBay and I was like, I'm talking with my friend Bob. He's a UF fan. I'm UM, and we were just kicking back and forth. And I just said, one of us mentioned, I think he had a Hawaiian shirt on that night. And he's like, he was talking about the Gators. And I was like, damn, you should have a UF Hawaiian shirt. And he just turned in his chair and looked at me. He was like, dude, oh man, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? And I was like, wait a second. I go on eBay, Hurricanes. There we go. Boom, I slid my phone over to hers. And there's a Christmas present. And then he and I just kept talking. And believe it or not, I actually got it. So
I'm surprised you found it on eBay. I found mine on Amazon.
Yeah, it's just like
there's some guy. They carry all of the Hawaiian shirt for all the major college football teams and NFL and AFL, I believe. So I mean NFL and NHL, and I mean seriously, almost everybody has it. You can get a Hawaiian shirt with your pet's face on it now. I know, because X-Brad has one with his dog's face on it, and it is the most glorious thing I've ever seen in my life. It really is. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I was poking around one day too, and I think like all the bourbon brands have their own too, so you can get like a Knob Creek or a Bullet. It's kind of like the shoulder patch has their name on it, and then it's patterned below it with like bottles and such, I think.
Oh.
They got a couple different versions of Florida Panther ones, and you can pretty much get what you want these days.
Wow. Well, I have to say, your birthday gift, I will be mailing it tomorrow. I had a little mishap with your birthday gift today, and I'm just...
Oh, no, you didn't drop it, did you?
I did.
What?
I did.
I was kidding.
I was not. I was so upset. I was in tears. So I had to fix it, but it will be mailed off tomorrow.
Did you actually render it? What happened?
I dropped it, and it fell in an awkward way, and I had to repair it. I was not a happy camper, because I worked very, very hard on this ornament. It is the most glorious ornament I have made. Out of all of the ornaments that I've made for you,
you've been chatting this thing up a bit. So
this is the one.
It better be freaking awesome, is all I'm saying.
It's going to make you laugh. For those of you in chat who are not aware, Brad has a glorious Christmas tree. It is decorated with ornaments that are based off of movies, and so it is. Some of them I've actually had to handmade, because you cannot find ornaments for these really bad films that we seem to enjoy. So I end up making the ornaments every year. Although I have to admit, the one for Tremors, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, fine work you did on that one. And I got a varied collection. I've got a Krampus bell. I've got the
the airplane.
Yes, the airplane tied in a knot. I've got the freaking shark with a freaking laser on its head. I've got a Sharknado chainsaw. A little bit of everything going on there. So, and yes, Aggie is glorious with her submissions each year. Adding to it.
Every year I have to add something to it. But this year's, it was very difficult because there were so many bad movies. Nothing actually stood out for me. And it wasn't until about 3 weeks ago that I finally hit on it. And normally I'm like already like halfway through the year, I'm like, this is the one I'm going to do, that kind of thing. And No, this time it was like, I can't pick from the pile of movies that y'all have done for Disasters in the Making. I just couldn't pick one. And it wasn't until I was actually looking through and watching some of the old ones again, and I was like, oh, that's it. So
Yeah, we've had I want to say a tough year, but we've really chosen some real crap ass movies this year.
yeah,
Like,
you did.
more than a few times, Paul and I, we always kicking around. One of us will come up with the idea and nail it. And the other one invariably is like, wow, that thing sucked. What did you do to me? And we've even had, I think, more than one occasion we watched something that's a non-movie. It was tough for us to even cover because it's like 90 minutes with 10 minutes of content, that kind of crap. So you're really kind of stuck a little bit. And I mean, we still had fun with it and such. I'm not even going to say what this week's is because I don't know if anybody has ever even seen it. We were kind of challenging each other. In fact, this will crack you up. We're trying to tie it in with something in the theaters this week coming up. So he comes up with a title because The Marvels is coming out. So we said, all right, let's get a piece of crap from Brie Larson's catalog. So he comes up with this one called Housebroken with Danny DeVito. From, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. She played like a cheerleader in high school or something like that. We're like, all right, this is good. This will work. Perfect. Not perfect. This movie doesn't exist anywhere.
You're kidding.
No. He threw it at me the other night. I think it was Friday night when I was in the bar. He's like, what do you think of this one? And I text him back. It's like, oh, yeah, that looks like a piece of shit. Let's do it. And then the next, and he's like, I think it might be on Tubi or something. And I pulled something. I was like, yeah, it looks like it is. Okay. Then you go on Tubi. It's not available. Not available on Amazon. Not available here. It's not on YouTube outside of the trailers. We both spent 2 days looking for this thing. It does not exist in streaming anywhere.
Seriously. Oh, Lord.
Now, I mean, we probably could have gotten a hold of a copy or something. I mean, basically, the whole point of our show is to encourage people to go out and watch these too. And yeah, it's like, you're not going to find this one, folks. So we had to come up with something else. And I'll just say this: I'm probably going to watch it either tonight or maybe tomorrow sometime. I don't know. Got the debate coming. I'm leery about this. The choice we made. I'm like, it's a style of movie I have a low tolerance for to begin with, and yeah, I'll just say this: it's a style I'm very familiar with, which is what pisses me off.
Okay. Well, there's MD actually brought up something that's rather epic. He wants to know the Manos Hands of Fate ornament must be fantastic. You need to tell them. You need to tell them right now.
What do I need to tell them?
Tell them what you have that is related to Manos Hands of Fate on your Christmas tree.
Oh, wait. Do I have a Manos?
I believe you do.
I don't think so.
It's not the real, the film strip?
Oh, you mean what I use for garland?
Yes.
No, actually, that's actually from a James Bond trailer. It's when Halle Berry is walking out of the ocean.
Oh, okay. So you don't have a Manos. I thought you did.
No, I don't have any Manos related item.
Okay, well, my work is cut out for me then.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
I thought you did.
No, but I have an idea for it.
Okay. I guess we will have to discuss it. I'll
have to find an angel ornament. It's got to be the right configuration. It has to be positioned in a certain fashion to work what I've got in mind. So okay. Yeah, but holy crap, that movie. That thing is. Did you ever hear Paul and I actually should do an episode on that because the making of that movie alone has got.
Oh no! Yes,
amazing.
I remember the whole story behind it. It was just, I mean,
Like the guy that plays the like his assistant, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
You know, the ragged looking guy in a hat, and he speaks funny and he walks weird. They were trying to have him be like a version of Pan, the mythical creature, you know, with the goat legs.
yes, the satyr.
So they fixed him with leg braces that would kind of replicate that look. Except they put him on backwards, which is why he walks so screwed up in the film. Ended up hurting himself in the process of the filming.
Oh dear Lord!
And affected him for the rest of his life to the point that he actually, I think, committed suicide because of the after effects of that. This film of all
Holy
films.
cow! That's horrible.
Yeah, it was like everybody was trying to figure out what that was all about anyway. This was like a movie they discovered. Nobody knew about this. I forget even how. Like the guys at Mystery Science Theater, like really stumbled upon this. Like the actual reels of film from it. You know, this wasn't available anywhere. You couldn't find it. They literally discovered this film. They're like, "What the hell? What is this?" And came to watch it, and they're like, "This is just not even a movie. What's going on here?" And basically, history was made.
That it sounds like something that we should discuss later on in an episode, like just to
Yeah,
finish that.
We probably should get back on our track here. Well, hey, the Texas A&M Aggies figured out how to score touchdowns in the second half this week.
Let me tell you, that was a heart-rending game. And the sad part was, I knew we were going to lose. I mean, I go into every game thinking this. We're going to lose. You know, we're just going to lose. I do not understand. I don't think that Jimbo has deviated from his playbook in the past 10 years because he was absolutely fabulous when he was over there in Florida, right? He was great. And then we decided we needed this guy over here, but it's like he has not improved on the playbook at all. Nothing. And I'm like, he's got to go. I don't care. I don't care how much money it costs. You need to get rid of him. Hire the guy at Texas A&M High School. I'm sure he would do a better job. But
he'd be cheaper.
We played Ole Miss, the Rebels, which, you know, somebody brought up the issue that they had not been hit with the whole, you know, PC thing about their name yet. And I'm like, oh, it's coming. I'm sure it's coming down the pike. Just wait. They haven't crossed the Mississippi yet. That's why. So it was a good game, but there were some instances that I'm not that big into knowing all of the calls and the penalties and you know, all that stuff. But there was one that was an obvious missed penalty against Ole Miss, and it was the most bizarre thing. The Ole Miss player sat on top of an A&M player to prevent him from getting up and running, you know, and I'm like, is that even legal? And the guy on the commentator, that's not legal. Why haven't they called it?
Of course.
They didn't see it. And if they saw it, they just decided to ignore it. But it was, it was obvious because, you know, Fisher went out there and the player was like saying, the guy sat on me. I don't understand why you're not calling that. Well, you know, and the referee and the umpire, everybody was just shaking their heads and whatever. And I'm like, well, if they don't see it, it doesn't happen. I get that. But I'm like, how do you not see that when you're standing pretty much like about 10 feet away? And so it was kind of bizarre. There were a couple of other calls that were kind of questionable as well. And there was one against Ole Miss that I was like, okay, that makes no sense whatsoever. The guy didn't, we didn't think it was an infraction, and the commentators were agreeing with that too. And of course, there was the guy that got ejected. We had a player get ejected because he kind of drove his helmet into somebody's codpiece. So that wasn't nice. So he got ejected, and rightfully so. But it was like if things started clicking, and normally, and I say this every single time, I hope that we don't score first, because when we score first, it makes us a little too lax. We start coasting. Yes, we start coasting pretty early on. So I don't like it when we score first, and then we always tend to lose our shit in the third quarter. And sure enough, it happened. We didn't score first, but we did kind of lose it in the third quarter. And by but in the fourth quarter, we started clicking. Things were starting coalescing, and we got pretty close. And
you scored, I think, 3 touchdowns in the second half.
Yeah, and you could tell Ole Miss was getting upset. I mean,
but then the defense disappeared. So
yeah, and I don't know what happened. They just decided to go out to lunch or something. I was like, what happened? I mean, where are they? I mean, there was a time when our defense was so good. R.C. Slocum actually petitioned the school and got his wish of trademarking the term the wrecking crew for our defense. It is trademarked. We're the only school that has a term trademark to refer to our defense. So there was a
Nobody had that before.
No. And at the time, it was like, what are you talking about, trademarking this for a defense team? But they did it. It was trademark. We still have the trademark. But, you have that trademark, you better live up to it. That's all I'm saying. And they kind of lost it out there in the fourth. And, but like I said, I was going into this thinking, yeah, we're probably going to lose. And I thought we were going to lose by 2 touchdowns. I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we lost by just a few points. That was it. So how did Miami do?
They didn't.
What happened?
I think our quarterback is just playing through some tough injuries because we had no offense whatsoever. He was off the mark. We didn't score any touchdowns. Lost to NC State Wolfpack. It's just not a pretty affair capacity. So I'm enthusiastic about this weekend because we have the annual rivalry game with FSU, who's only number 3 in the nation, I think, right now. So
I think so, yeah.
And while we're on the topic, last week they started the first of the playoff rankings. Instead of just the traditional AP or UPI coaches polls, this is the actual. I don't know what it's. They use some convoluted formula of involving the polls, strike the schedule, computer rankings, yada yada, all that crap gets thrown into the hopper. So all season, Georgia's been the number 1 team. They're undefeated, defending champions, and been number 1 for 9 weeks. First playoff poll comes out and they fall. Somehow.
What?
Yeah, Ohio State is now number 1, who has struggled to win a couple of their games. I mean, they're winning, they're still undefeated, but they haven't been, dominating or anything like that. The couple times they've had to squeeze out victories, and I don't know what they're basing all this on, but without losing a game, Georgia has fallen to the polls.
That is really bizarre. But then I've seen where a team actually loses a game and rises at the poll. So, like I said, I hate the rankings. I hate the people behind the rankings. They all suck.
Well, yeah, and of course this is, something they've come up with in order to appease everybody that has those very kind of complaints, and of course then just generate those very kind of complaints. I mean, if there's a little bit of a shuffle in the mid-range of the poll or something, sure, but pretty much the top 5 teams are all undefeated. Why would you have to reshuffle them? If nobody's lost and everybody's playing to expectations, it makes zero sense.
That makes no sense to me
But
either.
sure, I guess, whatever. That's what we got now. So
Well, I'll be pulling for you because I do not want Florida State to win.
well, who does actually? I mean, come on.
I was both happy and sad to see Notre Dame lose, though.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I wasn't.
I was a little sad, but I have my own personal female reasons for that.
Yeah, I thought you hated Notre Dame, so
I do, with every fiber of my being, except the quarterback.
Oh, right. Is he a hottie or something?
It's actually a running joke now, and I don't know if you've seen any of the videos and reels and stuff posted on social media, but apparently this guy is like swoon worthy or something. I don't know. For me, I'm like, yeah, no, this is he could literally be my kid, right? So I'm just like, yeah, it's too young.
Oh,
But
let your
I-
inner cougar out.
But no, but this is, stepping back and you're looking at all of the quarterbacks and all that stuff. This guy does not look like a metrosexual. This guy looks like the Marlboro Man. And I'm like, I see why every single female is swooning over this guy. I get it.
But isn't he like, I don't know, 5'5" or something? I mean, he always looks like pretty short out there.
I don't think women care. Honest to God, they just want to look at him. They don't care how tall he is.
Okay, yeah. I guess if you're looking at a 2-dimensional image, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. Every single woman, under the age of 45 is swooning after this guy. And some above the age of 45, I will admit. And nobody seems to connect that dot. This guy looks like a guy. He doesn't look, he's not prissy. He doesn't primp or anything. He looks like literally he should be wearing a flannel shirt, be riding a horse, wearing a cowboy hat, and be on the set of fucking Yellowstone. Seriously, that's where that guy belongs. And this is what I tell, all my friends' kids, my nieces and everything. It's like, you guys are all swooning after this guy, but you cannot tell me why you are. And I know why you are. And they're all like, yeah, Aunt Aggie, you just don't get it. I'm like, I'm the one getting it. You guys are the ones that don't see what I'm talking about because you are so invested in this whole metrosexual and, beta male society that has been foisted on you. The moment you see an alpha guy in this position, you freak out and you're like all over this guy. And he's not alpha. And I look at her. This was my niece. She was so cute. I looked at her as like, I dare you to tell that to my face again with a straight face. And she couldn't do it. She could not do it. She was like, yeah, okay, he's alpha. I think that's
I think what it is like I've got that Notre Dame predisposition. It's like, give me a break.
Oh no, they can all die in a fire.
No, I know, but I'm used to their,
but not him.
I'm used to their QVs and everything else being pretty boys and all that. So I mean, I know he's got a beard and all that, but he's got a little bit of the mane going. He's got the, I guess I can see the appeal from the female side of things.
It's just
he seems to eschew the Notre Dame look. How's that?
No, actually, far from it. One of my friends was actually first string quarterback for Notre Dame back in the 80s, and he was the look of Notre Dame. It doesn't come close to this guy. I can tell you that right now. I was like, Steve, never. Nope. He was cute when I was growing up and everything, but no. He definitely did not look like a what you would call a Yellowstone character like this guy does. I just found it interesting that so many women are swooning over this guy, and I'm like, you guys are you're not making the connection as to why you're swooning after this guy, because he actually looks like a guy, like a rugged male. And, women have been plied with this whole, beta male society where we're supposed to, masculinity is toxic and all that stuff. And here you go. This guy looks as toxic as they come. And every single woman I know is swooning after this guy. I know 2 gay women that look at him going, yeah, I would. I mean, 2 of my gay friends.
Yeah, like as far as that togicness, they can just go piss up a rope with that stuff. And I can give her answers.
Well, that's what I tell everybody. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. That's the thing.
Smoking, shit. Get the fuck out of here. No, but that's toxic. Yeah, get used to it.
So yeah.
Well, I'm
kind of glad. I am glad that Notre Dame lost. I am.
Indeed.
Very much so.
Yeah, I mean, I always kind of laugh too when like women are swooning over Jimmy Garoppolo, who's now up in Vegas. Well, actually, he's in the MASH unit, but oh my God, look at him! And every time he would take his helmet off or something, it's like, dude, you're not a football player. Get in the studio, just go pose.
I don't find him attractive.
No.
Well, but I'm just like, I'm going to be 57.
He's got that look. It's just when the women are like, "Oh my God, look at Garoppolo!" It's like, I can't. When I see him, I don't see him playing football. It's like, he should be a lifeguard that never goes in the water, kind of thing. Ooh, my hair.
Yeah, I see him more as a swimmer. Actually, as soon as you said that, I was like, dude looks like he should be on the swim team somewhere.
Oh no! Do you know what chlorine would do to that hair? Maybe. I mean, that's how I envision a guy.
I guess a lot of people look at him and they see like the Clark Kent look or something like that. But no, I look at him and I'm like, that just doesn't look right to me. I'm not saying that he's not good looking. Obviously, he makes women swoon, whatever. But like I said, most of these, they could be my kids. So but I don't know. He has that Clark Kent captain of the swim team look to me.
Whatever. Mm-hmm.
He's not my thing. So I don't. But I will say this: his dentist should be damn proud of that smile.
Yeah, it'd be the kind of thing where you're out at the bar and you understand why you're not getting any attention from the women because she's sitting on the other side. It's like, just go talk to him already. Quit pretending. Like when you're sitting there and you're approaching the woman, and then after a while, her chair keeps swiveling to 4 o'clock.
See,
5 o'clock.
not me.
And it's like facing that way. It's like, okay, got it, whatever.
Not me. See, if I were with you, I'd still be paying attention to you. I don't find him attractive. I think he's too plastic. He's too pretty. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, there's something about it's just too much for me. So yeah, I'd be very interested in watching the women that were swooning after him because that's always fun. That's why I loved going to a strip joint. I went to watch the men. I already knew the women were pretty. I just wanted to know how the men reacted. That's the fun part for me.
I'll just say it's not a pretty scene off stage. I've been in those trenches, and it can get dicey.
I never have. I do remember asking one of the girls to go do a lap dance for someone, and she thought that was sweet of me, and because I slipped a 20 onto her G-string, and she gave me a kiss, and the men were like, "Oh my God." I'm like, it was just a cheek, okay? Just a cheek. but she was quite gorgeous and very natural. Nothing was enhanced or anything. She was quite pretty too. So
That's all lighting. That's all done with lighting.
Yeah, well, even up close. Anyway, moving on.
You're getting more action in a strip club than I would. Damn.
But that's one of the perks of being a girl in a strip joint, because the women don't see you as a threat, so they're more open to you, and they do, they're more. I guess they're more forward. They don't mind, but they do have to watch themselves with the clientele that is there to live the dream, so to speak. I'm not there to live the dream. I'm there to have fun watching the men make asses of themselves or whatever. That's always fun for me.
And I never really enjoyed strip clubs. I mean, the scenery's obviously great, but it's, you're dropping $9 on a watered down cocktail and all the other crowd, and you end up dropping $150 to not go home with women. It's like the bar across the street, I can drop $40 and not go home with somebody and have better drinks,
True. And you might get even lucky because that woman is not restricted from going home with you.
And even in the strip club, as the women are fawning, it was just like, oh no, that's so fascinating. Tell me more. And it's just, they just want the money to keep coming out of the wallet after a while. It's like, yeah, you really do find me fascinating, don't you?
Actually, that gal came when she was taking a break. She came and sat with me, and we talked for a long time. It turns out she was on tour, and she's based out of Vegas. And we were talking about all sorts of stuff, and we even talked about Sephora was having a sale, and so I was telling her, and Kat Von D is coming out with a new eyeliner, and I'm like, I already signed up because I wanted to be. She's like, you're kidding, and she's, seriously, we were just talking about girl stuff, but she knew that I was not a threat. That's why she came and sat with me, and because she was with me, men left her alone, so she was able to really just enjoy a quiet conversation, as quiet as it could be at a strip joint, and just at least have a break, a 20-minute break before she had to go back up on the stage. But that's what we talked about. There's this woman half naked next to me, and it's like I didn't even notice that she was half naked until she went back up there. I was like, oh yeah, she was naked.
Yeah. I always enjoyed the DJs because for some reason, no matter which strip club you're in, they all sound the same. They've got that throaty, burpy delivery.
Yeah, they all try to be Barry White. No,
well, up on stage we got champagne over there on the table deck. Coming up on there, cinnamon is on the champagne stage. Yeah. Where the hell do you guys learn this?
DJ school?
I mean, we knew a guy that actually DJ'd. And he would in between songs and stuff come and sit with us and talk normally. He gets up in the booth and he starts doing that exact kind of pattern. And we're like, Neil, what are you doing? What is this? He's like, oh yeah, I don't know. They just expect it.
That is kind of weird.
I mean, what are you? Why? He's like, well, one manager told me that the guys that come in feel more comfortable when you sound like every other DJ in a strip club. Huh. Really? What, so you're franchising this now? Live, we got the free flyer coming up now at 12
o'clock. Okay, that's just weird. Stop. That's weird. I mean, weird. Okay.
Yeah, and we'd be in another city and they're talking like that. What is going on in this industry? I have no idea, but...
Okay, that's pretty funny.
We were at a conference or something, and one of the guys had to go to a strip club. Like, really, dude, come on. Whatever. Fine, we'll go. He's like, oh, we got a free buffet or something's going on.
Everybody has a prime rib buffet. Have you
noticed that? Indulge. It's like, you go play with the gals. I'm going to have a couple ribs and some $6 trips or something. And then the guy's like, "Look, guys, coming up on Saturday. We've got you're supposed to be in Fort Lauderdale. What are you doing up here?" Makes no sense. But that's the wackiness in the strip clubs these days.
Well, I'm sure that, most people don't go there for the drinks.
No.
No.
Not at all.
However, I hear that, there has been a new record set for drinking.
Yeah, I'm curious about this. Apparently, I've never heard of this standard before, but apparently there's a recognition of like one party sitting down for 3 hours to see how many beers they can drink. Like this is the measuring stick, I guess, is for Guinness. I don't know. It doesn't really say if it's a Guinness record, but it's regarded as world record, so we're going to go with it. A group of 55 Germans vacationing in Mallorca, Spain, or I should Mallorca, Spain, recently set a new world record for the most number of beers drunk in a period of 3 hours. The bizarre event took place in... Why is it bizarre? Sons of bitches, quit being judgmental. These people are doing what they love to do, okay? Let them be. Don't go judge. Bizarre event. Screw off. At Playa del Palma, an area known for its active nightlife and often criticized as Spain's capital of drunken tourism. Whoever wrote this, pretty damn negative, but
Yeah.
these bizarre.
I bet you they went to a strip joint there and got turned down, but go on.
Probably. They must have been assigned this story or something like that. So a bunch of them were all, they went on the WhatsApp messaging group and got everybody together at this location, the 55 of them, so they could start forcing down some beers. Now, back in July, there was a different group of German tourists. So they initially set the mark at 1,111 beers in 3 hours. So this group of people sat down and was like, we're going to beat that. And they did. 1,254 beers were consumed.
1,254 beers
Mm-hmm.
in 3 hours.
Pretty
I'm
good
assuming they were able to go to the bathroom.
Well, that would have to be the case, right?
Man, I've seen some Germans drink. They actually can open up their throats and just they don't even swallow.
I mean, this
it's just
is
one huge gulp thing.
this average out to about 22 or 23 beers a person, which would then total out to about 7 or 8 beers an hour. So about every 9 minutes?
I'm telling you that's how they had to do it, because I can't even imagine that.
And certainly some overperformed.
You've seen me drink a beer.
Others.
It takes me 3 hours to drink one beer.
Yeah, the waitress has to come over and bring ice in a baggie for your pint, which I haven't seen before.
But
you just rotate. I'll take your old one, you take my fresh one here, and we'll just do that.
I don't know how they do it. I mean, seriously, I've seen Germans just take that huge stein or that big ass HB glass mug thing, beer mug, and just tip their head back, and it just all goes down the gullet. I mean,
and the thing is, they were getting a pretty good price point on this too. 1,254 beers. The bar tab came out to be just over 2,500.
2,500. Oh, well, no, that makes sense. Actually, beer is less expensive over in Europe than soda. I'm not even kidding.
Well, I mean,
sometimes even cheaper than wine. I mean, but wine is still less expensive than soda.
It should be the case in the States, because I know when I worked when I worked at Budweiser, they explained to us that they've got the process down to such a degree that it actually is cheaper to produce the Budweiser by the ounce than it does the bottled water for many companies.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense of that if you can, but that's where they're at. They figured something out. So yeah, we're getting shafted, is what I'm saying.
I think so too.
It'd kill me when I'd go to Panther games while working there too, because we'd always take turns. So you're around. Okay, I got to go up and get them now. So I'd go and get 4 or 5 draft beers, and it's costing me like $35 because I'm looking at my hand, and I know for a fact that total price point is like $1.50 for all of them: beers, cups, and the service.
Mm-hmm.
Son of a.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember, going to Germany. It was always cheaper to buy the pint of beer than it was to get half a pint of Coke. And it just made no sense to me. And the fun part is when you walk into a McDonald's over there, you can buy McWine. It's cheaper
Well, I'm
than
sure.
getting the soda.
When it comes to Coke over there in Europe, I'm sure a lot of that is surcharge from the government.
There is that surcharge from the government, yeah, but it's just
Import
that
taxes and crap like that. Even
No,
though it's
it's
probably
made over
produced
there.
local. Yeah,
it is
but,
local.
but it's
Because
still
they don't-
regarded as an American
Do you know
product
that
in a
it's
lot of ways.
illegal? It's illegal to produce Coca-Cola over there as per the recipe here that we use here. They use beet sugar over there.
Oh,
They don't use the fructose that is used over here because it's not legal. So yeah, the soda is produced over there, and it tastes like crap. I hate beet. I don't like it with the beet sugar in it. I've never have, but which kind of opened up my mind to other beers, which
and
is
that's
nice.
pretty much why I don't like Coke, because I'm fructose intolerant.
Anyway, so
Never
but how do
enjoyed
you
Coke.
but how do you feel about Pepsi then?
Yeah, Pepsi I can do okay with.
I'm segueing here pretty well. You gotta give me props for that.
I noticed that, yes. Speaking of Pepsi, yeah. PepsiCo, as the parent company is known, is a multinational conglomerate. I think they own Yum Brands too, don't they? All the fast food chains, just like KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, I think. All those. But among the portfolio, you'll also find Doritos under the PepsiCo banner. So this is their product.
Okay.
Pepsi is working on a solution to a problem hardly anybody would regard as a problem. They want to get rid of the crunch noise when you eat Doritos.
But why?
Well, there's a reason. It's a dumbass reason, but there is a reason. Turns out, PepsiCo's Dorito chips are popular with video gamers, and the loud crunch they make while playing live online with others has been a source of distraction and frustration for others. So the beverage and snacking giant has estimated that 85% of the U.S. gamers have consumed Doritos in the last 3 months. That is just a stupid figure. I'm calling bullcrap on that.
But here's the thing. When, players are, on and everything, they have the option to use a mute on their mic. I know that because I have seen people do it. So I don't understand why they can't just mute while they're eating a crunchy Dorito chip and then unmute when they're done.
How about this? Don't eat the damn chips while you're live. But
That's a big one.
I'm sorry, 85% of them in the last 3 months alone. Bullcrap. I'm sorry.
No.
But the to help keep the crunch to themselves, I swear, Doritos is debuting what it calls Doritos Silent.
I just can't. What?
Gamers download Doritos Crunch cancellation software, and when the technology is turned on, the software detects the crunching sounds and silences it while keeping the gamer's voice intact.
This is what they want to. This is what they want to waste money on. Okay.
How about this as a solution? I'm just going to be, I'm blue skying here while we're shooting around the conference table. As these paradigm chasers do in their conference rooms. I hate corporate speak more than I do, not more than Hamas, but it's probably on a near level. Well, if we need a new vertical, so then there we could do the overlay with the cross-process analysis charting from the second quadrant and move that over to the demographic overlay. Shut up, Paul. Punch you in the damn throat. You don't even know what you're talking about. Anyway, I would be at that conference meeting, and I'd raise my hand. It's like, hey, how about this? Why don't you just put that flavor on tortillas?
Yeah, that would work.
But again, I'm probably
I don't know, thinking outside of the box,
or inside the bag.
or inside the bag.
I know it would seem to me like from a price point analysis and other things that, like Doritos tortilla, now in ranch, now in fiery lime or whatever the hell flavors. Like I never liked Doritos. I just don't like them. So I don't even know what flavors they got anymore. But
I'm not a gamer by any definition. I never have. But I never thought that was an issue. And because most people, when they play games, it's all about the game. And if somebody's eating something, if somebody is upset about it, or that, we'll let them know, hey, can you mute while you're eating? Because we can't hear the other player or whatever.
No, this is actually, they're addressing a legitimate problem, because while 85% of the gamers have consumed Doritos in the past 3 months, at the same time, nearly a third of individuals reported that other people's crunching distracts them from playing well and impacts their performance.
And they can't just say, hey, can you mute your damn...
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'd bark down their snorkel and just say, hey, knock it off with the chips until we're done. But no, Doritos spent 6 months developing this software. I'm sorry, just put them on tortillas. You'll sell product, as opposed to a software now that cancels out the crunch. But I don't understand. Like, do you download an app? How does this work? Just, I swear. Yeah, but it keeps the crunch for the person that's eating the Doritos, and according to PepsiCo, is one of the major reasons people enjoy it in the first place.
I like the crunch. I like making a taco salad using Doritos, instead of nacho chips. It gives it a more, I don't know, it's zingier, and to be honest, the crunch lasts longer. So I like that crunch, but I'm not a gamer, so I shouldn't even opine.
I don't really like the flavor at all, so it's lost on me. I liked it too when they came up with the flavored taco shells at Taco Bell, and they're, when they first came out, a bunch of us had gone out or something, and we were sitting there eating them, and somebody was raving, "Oh, this is awesome! This ranch one tastes phenomenal!" And I was like, "Man, yeah, you're right. You know what? They should just take the shell and sell that. That would make such a great snack." And like 3 guys said, "Yeah, you're right, man. That would be awesome." And I just looked at them. "Oh, you son of a bitch!" Way to be quick on the uptake there, champ. All right. So yeah, PepsiCo has solved the crunch problem during video games, I guess. But hey, not the dumbest research that has taken place.
No, not by a long shot.
So,
There's always something else that they're spending money on. So,
as we enter into the educational phase of our program, this is Brad's research and analysis corner, in which we explore what the vaunted, elevated, high IQ brains in academia are coming up with these days. Well, how about this one? Whether dreaming of a white Christmas or simply pondering how to best rearrange the furniture, humans are able to conjure up myriad situations that are not in front of us. I.e., we can use our imaginations. You know, the power of suggestion and all that kind of stuff. If you can dream it, you can live it, that kind of crap. Well, guess what, Aggie? Now it seems that rats may be able to do something similar. That favorite group of mine, researchers, have found that rats can navigate their way through a space that they have previously explored using their thoughts alone, suggesting the rodents have some sort of imagination.
that is, to say that it's bizarre is putting it mildly.
Well, this is where my mind goes. In fact, my imagination, I've conjured something myself. Don't we usually use research rats for the sake of, I don't know, experimenting on certain aspects and learning something that could then benefit humans down the road without affecting humans? So it's like, you know, shove 7 ounces of Right Guard deodorant down their throat every day to see if it causes cancer or not, that kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We already know that humans have an imagination, so what benefit is there to this? What the hell are you doing? Oh my God, breakthrough. Rats may have an imagination. Uh-huh.
I'm trying to figure out
What you gonna do with this information now?
yeah, exactly.
What's step 2 in your little analysis now? Oh my God, rats have an imagination. Great. And what are we gonna apply that with? I got nothing.
I don't see the
So the rats have more imagination than you do. So
yeah,
seems
what
to be
is
the
it?
case.
What is the use of determining whether or not rats have an imagination? The thing is, rat behavior has been studied for many, many, many decades, even outside of being used for, you know, animal testing or whatever reason. They have been studied. They're creatures of habit. If they had an imagination, they would have figured out how to build a better maze. Okay? They would have figured out things on their own. It would have been secret of Nim shit by now. Okay? That's what I'm saying.
I know when I was growing up, you would always see those, you know, research projects where they put a piece of cheese at an end of a maze to see if the rat can figure out how to get to it. And he does. Yay! Great. What'd you just do?
He followed the scent and trial and error until he got to the cheese. That's how he does it.
To this day, I have no idea what benefit to society rats in a maze have done outside of, hey, I'm a researcher and I discovered something. Here's more money.
We need to get into this grift.
Because even here they say something.
An action.
They say, however, humans can, at will, imagine navigating their way through places that have previously been visited. For example, the corridors of a workplace. Great, we all know this already.
This is not news. I don't understand why it's just a way to get money and pocket the difference. I don't know.
What the hell is going on?
We have to get into the script. I'm telling you.
I guess, yeah, we Well, we probably have to get on campus for one thing, somehow. I have an idea. You and I should go out and get a Palestine flag. We'll be allowed anywhere.
That was something that was. It has been, this whole thing since October 7th has been very eye-opening in many, many ways. And it not just the whole standing with Israel, standing with Palestine, division. I'm talking about the way the protests were sparked. And I'm sure that you noticed this was not organic in any way. Usually when something happens across the world and there's a conflagration somewhere and we as a country decide to choose a side to cheer on, be it Myanmar, whatever, wherever it happens, we'll choose a side. And a protest will happen in one place, and then like maybe 3 days later, 3 protests in several different places. No, these protests all sprung up at the same time. And then, like 20 of them at the same time. So there was no organic flow to this at all. It has been a really interesting study, to say the least, on how the protests have been handled and have pretty much snowballed from that point. But it was not organic in any way. This was not organic at all. There were things in place that sparked it all at the same time.
Well, it's made no sense either, in that so much of this has been taking place on college campuses. But for the last couple of years, it's been, the squishes on campus. Like, they're saying stuff that we don't agree with. I need a safe space. I feel threatened. I don't feel safe anymore. Just for disagreeing with somebody on a topic. Ooh, they want lower taxes. I don't feel safe. They need to go away because I feel threatened, and that kind of crap. But now they can go on campus and say, I want to see the Jews die.
Yeah.
And you have to respect their freedom of speech?
No.
What? How did this happen?
It has begun, there has been an eye-opening, that pendulum is starting to swing hard. And I don't think the Stand with Palestine group actually expected it to swing this hard. We've had a gentleman was murdered by a Palestinian activist, a pro-Palestinian activist, and it has been ruled a homicide. And
except not in the press.
But not in the press. You had the media saying a man dies after,
confrontation.
And I'm like, no, he was killed.
He was attacked and died. But a protest confrontation led to someone expiring. It's like, it wasn't just one outlet either, because initially it started on a local level. The local channel said this. A dispute resulted in an individual perishing in the site. He got drowned and fell on the ground and hit his head and died as a result of being attacked.
Had he been a Palestinian supporter and the person that hit him been an Israeli supporter, do you think that the media would have said the man dies? No, they would not have. And this is,
hate crime from Islamophobia.
Oh, that's another thing. You had Elizabeth Warren talking about how the rise of hate against Muslims and Arabs and Islamophobia and all that stuff. And I'm going, are you paying attention to the news? Because that's not what's going on at all. Yeah, literally, the day after the man died, she tweeted this out. And
but there's that case. There was the, she was a director. So there's a woman that was pretty high up in the synagogue in the Detroit area. She's been murdered.
The president. Mm-hmm.
And immediately the press came out. It's not a hate crime.
It's completely a hate crime.
It's
And
like,
this
well,
is
I've got two problems with that. One, it happened like a day or two after the Israeli attacks and all the upheaval. Secondly, you don't even have a damn suspect. So how can you declare it not a hate crime?
why I actually, that was one of the things that I agreed with President Bush when he was governor of Texas. He did not like hate crime legislation. He didn't want it. He was outvoted, and we did pass it. The legislature passed it, but he didn't want it. And his reasoning was every crime is a hate crime, regardless. And I firmly believe that.
Well, I've
And
never
now-
understood either why you could, like, somebody's murdered, but then you declare it a hate crime. Does that make it worse than murder?
Exactly.
You can't really top dying. I'm sorry.
But they do try doing that by classifying the murder as a hate crime. The penalty is greater. And so you have a disparity because if a person of African American descent attacks a person of, say, Caucasian descent and the Caucasian dies, it's not considered a hate crime. And I'm like, yes, it is. It's completely a hate crime. By its own definition, that's a hate crime. But they won't classify it as that. And that's why I hate the term hate crime, because all crime is hate crime. All of it.
But that's the thing that's going on right now, was all this crap
Yes.
has become interpretation. Now, we had the guy not far
That
from
was-
you in Texas, the Jordanian illegal immigrant they found that was had a huge arsenal of guns and was training himself in bomb making so he could go after Jewish neighbors.
Yeah. But not a
They
hate
had a group, a mob of Palestinian protesters storm the White House this weekend. They were trying to break down the fencing. They defaced and vandalized the gates of the place.
How was that not an insurrection?
ABC News called it a passionate protest.
That was not passionate. That was just evil personified.
But this
And
is
I'm
what's
like,
amazing to me is that
But why were they trying to get into the White House? There was nobody there. I don't understand. These people did not pay attention. He wasn't there, and he's on their side. Why are you attacking the White House?
But in all of these stories, each and every single story, this all has antisocial behavior coming from the pro-Palestinian crowd, and the media completely whitewashes it. They're completely defending this. While Jewish people are being threatened and killed, they're coming out and saying, no, don't go after the Islamics.
This is it's a really good study on how black has become white. Everything that they tell you is not. It's a complete and total 180 of the truth. And for example, they call Israel the colonizers, the occupiers. And I'm going, no. If you look at history, all of the Jews have been occupied. That whole area has been occupied. The Romans, the Byzantines, the Persians, the Ottomans, until 1915, occupied that area. You cannot tell me that Israel are colonizers. They're not.
But this is where the real fix is. Because over the last couple of years, the media has absolutely loved throwing around the term anti-Semitic. Anybody on the Republican side they can possibly label with that, they would jump at it.
Yep.
If you criticize George Soros, you're anti-Semitic.
So by that definition, he's anti-Semitic then.
Well, there's a couple of problems with the Soros issue. One, the guy's an avowed atheist. Not sure how you give anti-Semitic to somebody who doesn't practice being Semitic himself. I'm just, it's like criticizing a guy for his barbecue. Oh, you're just anti-vegan. I'm sorry, what?
Anti-vegan.
So that doesn't work. But how about this? George Soros has been recognized as donating significantly to pro-Palestinian protest groups. So let me understand now. I'm anti-Semitic if I criticize the guy that funds anti-Semitic groups. Please explain.
They can't. They can't. They just want you to look over there.
And remember, when you and I were at CPAC and we saw those asshole Nazis
Mm-hmm.
on the street corner,
Yeah.
cosplaying dipshits,
Yep.
them being on the street corner proved that Ron DeSantis is anti-Semitic. Despite the fact that Ron DeSantis has a very long track record of full support of Israel, both financially and legislatively. I mean, these idiots one time showed up and protested, and the media was like, Ron DeSantis won't speak out against these anti-Semitic people. 2 days before these assholes were on the street corner, he was in a synagogue commemorating the Holocaust and saying we have to bring an end to anti-Semitism. And the media is pretending he did the same. So this has all been going on. Like, if you can somehow come up with a charge of anti-Semitism, the press is all about it. Jewish people are being targeted and murdered. But that's not anti-Semitism somehow.
Yeah. I just.
This is how backwards they've become.
Yeah. I had my little discussion with my niece about this situation, and she is, like I said, she's 20, and so she gets most of her stuff from Snapchat, Instagram, and we were discussing what was going on, and she said, it's hard for those people who live in that prison. And I was like, who are you talking about? And, she said the Palestinians. And I was like, okay, that was a field of study for me when I was in college, right? And she said, yeah. And, that I'm very familiar with Greco-Roman history and this kind of stuff. And you realize that 1492 for us in Puerto Rico, it's a dual thing. It's not just Columbus sailing the ocean blue thing. And she was like, well, what is it? What do you mean? What else was there in 1492? And I had to explain to her, what happened in 1492. I had to explain who Charles Martel was. I had to explain all sorts of stuff because, they're not taught about the Crusades. They're only taught that it happened, but they're not taught why.
And that they were bad.
Yes. And I said, and I started to explain to you, I said, that whole area was called Judea. That was Israel. That was, it's literally referred to as Israel in the Bible. Jesus himself referred to it as Israel. Okay. And she was like, it's in the Bible? And I was like, yes. It's like, the name was changed to Palestinian by the Romans. And, this is where Palestine comes from. And so, and I was like telling her about this, and I said, and if you don't believe me, I will refer you to a really cool historian who happens to be Muslim. And he will tell you that what I'm telling you right now is true. And I mean, it was like I was watching her face and I could see her brain engaging. And she started asking question after question after question. She is not questioning everything that she's seeing on the media. And I'm happy to see it, and I'm like, you know what, if you want to support Palestinian people because you feel that they're oppressed, and they are, because they voted in Hamas thinking that they would get better, and I get that. I get that you're thinking that way. That's fine. I said, but you need to get more information about the history of that area before you make any claims about Israel being occupiers, Israel being colonizers, Israel only being there since 1947. That's not true. And she was like, I had no idea. And I was like, that's the problem. You
Well, I saw
at 20 years old had no idea.
Saw a pretty interesting video. I think it was today, and it was a mass exodus of Palestinians out of the Gaza region. I mean, thousands and thousands of them on a roadway, right, walking south out of the main center. And on the sidelines, like out in the sand dunes and stuff, beside the roadway, were Israeli tanks. Not aiming at them or not attacking them at all. They were guarding them because Hamas was known to be picking off and killing the people trying to flee the area. So the Israelis are basically ushering to safety the Palestinians that supposedly they're committing genocide on.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how backwards everything is in our media complex.
It's completely bizarre. It is completely bizarre.
But it's just something we got to be diligent about. We just have to keep standing on the facts and calling out these assholes when they do it. I'll give Jake Tapper some credit, though. He had another good segment the other day where he was listing out the various problems with Hamas and the Palestinian people and basically laying out what a corrupt organization they are. Like, he was quoting their leader, the one guy that's over in Qatar right now, broadcasting safely from another country.
Enjoying the millions, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He basically came out and said that, in order to have a successful venture, we have to sacrifice our people.
That is sad.
And there was another leader of theirs that was directly questioned about, how does Hamas have all of these supplies and utilities and stuff and the people don't? And he's like, it's not our responsibility to take care of the Palestinian people. You're the elected leaders. And they're saying they don't have a responsibility with Palestinians.
But that is endemic of that mindset there. And the Palestinians are just as guilty of it. They really are. Because the Palestinians did not elect Hamas to take care of them. The Palestinians elected Hamas to take care of the Jews. That's the issue. And, and you see it everywhere. It's like the Palestinians want the Jews dead. End of discussion. That's what they want. You'll notice that the Palestinian Christians are not being interviewed anywhere. Nowhere are you finding anybody that's a Palestinian Christian that will tell you the horrors of living in that area under Hamas. Nobody is asking them any questions. Why? Because right now the media believes that it's better to prop up the narrative that Hamas is actually, trying to help the people of Palestine or Gaza. And they can't afford for that narrative to fall apart now. Props to Jake Tapper for actually saying what he did, Yeah,
it isn't like his supposition. He's played the video of these people saying it. Like, somebody else asked one of their leaders about how Hamas has kilometers of these tunnels under the city, but they don't have bomb shelters for the citizens.
No, and you know what? I'm surprised that they haven't flooded those tunnels yet. Egypt did once. They were very successful with it too.
They're actually going through systematic. They actually have what they call a foam bomb that the IDF uses.
Mm.
And basically what it is, it's like a grenade they'll send in, but when it explodes, it basically fills up any like the escape hatches and channels and stuff like that. So as they're marching through, they're sealing off areas of these tunnels with these foam bombs. It could, instead of just going through and blowing the place to hell, I mean, they're confiscating weapons, or looking for this, or looking for that, and information, documents, all kinds of stuff like that. So they're systematically going through these miles and miles of tunnels. But yeah, they're doing it in a smart fashion. I love too that Netanyahu and everybody else in Israel saying the same thing. He said, no, we're not appeasing. We're not ceasing fire. We're eliminating these sons of bitches. We're done. Biden and everybody else is like, can we maybe have a pause? Can we? No. It's like not even something they'll entertain or sit down and have a discussion with. They're like, when Hamas is done, then we're done. And the thing is, too, all the talk about a ceasefire, it only goes in one direction. Israel needs a ceasefire. But what about Hamas that's launching bombs on a daily basis since October 7th? Still holds hundreds of captives. It doesn't return them. What about that? That's different.
Yeah, it's totally different from the big capital D.
But before we close out here, I want to throw one quick story at you that we didn't. Surprised. You're familiar with Gannett Newspaper Media, the publisher?
Yeah.
They're the ones behind USA Today and wide spectrum of local newspapers across the country. Gannett's huge. Vastly successful. Well, I can't say vastly successful. They've gone through 3 levels of layoffs in the last year or so.
Holy cow.
Like I think it was last August, they dropped about 400 employees. It was around December, they cut their reporting staff by like 6%. Another raft of layoffs came around in March. On top of that, they've had a crap ton of top flight executives leave the company.
Wow.
Like I think the president of Gannett and publisher of USA Today announced they were walking off. A couple other top flight executives, as well as a ton of editors and the local papers are just like, that's it, we're done, we're out. So yeah, they're culling staff and losing management left and right. Oh, but one thing they are covering though, amid all these job losses, they have a brand new hire that they're bragging about.
What?
Brian West is his name. And he is relocating from Arizona to Nashville. He's going to work out of the offices of the local paper there, the Tennessean, so that he could be the dedicated Taylor Swift reporter.
I'm sorry. Am I on Earth too?
This was an extensive search that they conducted starting months ago, taking submissions from various individuals.
To have a dedicated reporter for Taylor Swift.
Yes. As it was described, I think it was Variety that said this, he will become Gannett's brand new full-time Swiftie journalist.
Oh, dear God. There's not enough vodka for this.
Not like,
The Swiftie reporter.
It's not like, oh, is there a story about Taylor Swift? Yeah, give it to Brian. No, full-time Taylor Swift reporter.
I cannot. I'm like, why? It's not like she's not covered in every single bit of social media by everybody. Why would you need a reporter for this? All you have to do is scroll Instagram.
The state of our media complex in this country.
Oh my God. Well, no, that can't be our last, we need one more story. I know we're running over, but this is a quick one.
Okay.
Florida man versus Texas woman.
Subtitle of our show.
Pretty much. I'm sure you heard because you had it in your notes.
Yes.
There was a thrift store fine to end all thrift store fines over in Lee County in Florida.
A place I visit quite frequently.
And an anthropologist happened to be at a thrift store and noticed that one of the displays in the Halloween decor section was an actual human skull.
Yes.
And
Nice.
I was just like, this is not the first time it happens. It's not even the second time it happens. it's not the third time it happens. I'm just like, what is going on? Because a skull was also found in Arizona not too long ago. It was also part of a display, and somebody noticed that it was actually a human skull. And right now, they don't think that there was any foul play involved, you know. And from what I remember in my studies, there were reasons to keep a human skull. Most of the reasons were attached usually to faiths that had a basis in African culture and Caribbean culture. And so it was considered bad luck at times to actually bury somebody who had been not a good person on earth, to bury them with their head. Okay. So they would decapitate this person's head and bury the head separately. That way, the ghost or whatever would spend its time looking for the head rather than wreaking havoc somewhere else. Okay, so there were that's one of them. There were other, sometimes you could not bury somebody. So what they would do, they would keep the skull as part of, a way to remember the person. Since they couldn't bury, they would get rid of the body somehow and keep the skull. They would burn the body, keep the skull, let the skull dry out and whatnot, and keep it as a, part of the altar or, whatever. So there were different reasons for keeping a skull. So this doesn't necessarily mean there was foul play involved. Now, there was a case in Texas where they did find part of a body in a display. Everybody thought it was just, plastic or something. And sure enough, somebody said, that's real. And this was out in West Texas somewhere. And, Emmy took it, they did postmortem, whatever it is that they do, their voodoo thing, and they discovered a bullet. So this one is still considered an open case. Because they do believe there was foul play involved. So they've been trying to figure out who the person is, where the body came from, but there are no leads. I mean, it's been on display forever somewhere. And so...
Well, I've actually got the flip side of that story here in Florida.
Oh, really?
A couple of fishermen were out on the water and came upon like a small cave or grotto and looked in the shallows and they spotted a skull and a spine. Holy crap, so they called the cops, human remains, everybody comes out, digs it up. Plastic beer bong. Plastic skull and the spine was the funnel. I think maybe some damn kids went out there and planted this intentionally or something.
I would not doubt it. And this is one of the scary things about some of the props that are available nowadays. They're very intricate, they're very detailed, and they can trip up somebody thinking that it's real. The flip side to that is that they're so realistic, some people could actually try to get away with doing something nefarious and, using the dead body as a prop. So, which is the case that happened out in West Texas. I want to say it was near Carlsbad or something like that. But, where they used the body as a prop and everybody thought that it was actually a fake skeleton. No, it was actually a body.
Yeah, people.
The bullet was lodged in the bone and everything. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting. But like I said, there are some cases whereby you would actually behead the body and either bury the body or cremate the body and then keep the skull as either to ward off evil spirits or to confuse an evil spirit, or as a part of an ossuary where you put it on a mantle as part of your altar or whatever. So that's why they don't think that either one of these is related to foul play, but you never know.
Especially in Florida.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, Brad, where can we find you? Out in Lee's County?
Yeah. But I'm not combing the Goodwill stores in Lake Kennedy, Florida. You can find me on a daily basis over at townhall.com with my daily media column there called Rift from the Headlines. And also on Red State, you can listen to my twice weekly podcast, Liable Sources, where I dig into even more of the mayhem from our media complex. And you can hear me on this very network. As mentioned earlier, I'll be here Thursday night with Paul Young from ScreenRant.com. He and I guide you through the dark side of Hollywood and bad movies with disasters in the making. Alternate Thursdays, I'm here with Ordy Packer to bring to you all of the important entertainment information on the culture shift. And, of course, every Tuesday with the ever effervescent Aggie Weekend here on the Cocktail Hour. And then if you need more of me than that, let's face it, you do. You head over to Twitter. I'm at Martini Sharp. What about you, Aggie? Where can people find more of your magnificence?
Well, you can find me at Aggie Weekend and at Aggie the Barkeep. Those are over on X. You can also find me 8:30 p.m. Eastern Tuesday nights during the Cocktail Lounge with the Ever Swap You. Friday nights, also 8:30 p.m. Eastern, doing He Said, She Said with our great producer, Rick, of late. And hopefully Mickey will be coming back soon. Last Wednesday of every month, 8 p.m. Eastern, we do Toxic Masculinity, where I bring the drinks for G, Ordy, and Rick. And starting hopefully this coming Monday, I believe this is going to be the 13th, Monday the 13th, Jeff and I are going to launch our new book podcast. So that should be 8:30 p.m. Eastern this coming Monday. Stay tuned for that. It was supposed to be last Monday, but Jeff has been ill, so we decided to push it back a week. So, and with that, thank you so much for joining us, you guys. It was a lot of fun. And please don't judge me too harshly about the whole strip joint thing. Have a great night.
Oh, we're judging.
And go raise a glass and look at the ceiling.
We're judging you. We're judging you hard. Giggity.